Hey guys, Danjix here, back with another Cyberpunk 2077 video. Today's going to be a quick one with a ton of information, but you can pause and read if you need more. I'm going to be covering beta access, the meaning of Cyberpunk, heavy weapons, gangs, brain dance types, and more. First up, the official Cyberpunk 2077 Twitter announced that if you receive an email claiming to be granting you beta access to the game, it's fake. Don't hold your breath and be very cautious if you receive anything claiming to be from the developer, as they have also confirmed that there are no plans for beta. So those who want to play early or play before you buy, I'm sorry, CD Projekt Red are just going to jump straight in. Cross your fingers that there won't be more delays. So we have an interview with Rogue in the Cyberpunk 2077 art book. She's a powerful solo who accompanied Johnny Silverhand in the attack on Arasaka Towers. She's a fixer that you meet fairly early on. To know what's led her to this point, you probably have to play the game, but she mentions it's like retiring as a coach after a long ball career. She does point out that Cyberpunk is a style and that the word isn't used much in 2077. Even back 50 years ago, they used the word merc or edge runner more often. Cyberpunk describes a street rebel that's fighting an oppressive system. It was about your attitude, your personal style. The coolest and most dangerous looking guy in the streets. Attitude was everything, style over substance. It didn't matter how good you were at something as long as you looked good doing it. So if you want to live out the cyberpunk street fantasy, you know what to do. Fight the power. So in this segment of the art book, we have a paragraph about heavy weapons. Heavy weapons or weapons of war are prohibited in Night City. Yes, corpo soldier boys can legally use a minigun, whereas other weapons are so common they can be literally bought from vending machines. For only a few Eurobucks, you can get a one-shot polymer gun from Budget Arms, but if you want the heavy stuff, you can buy some from specialized independent vendors. Fixers can get you anything, including the latest cutting-edge corporate prototype weapons. Just bring your wallet. So this confirms that miniguns are in the world in 2077, and it also suggests that there might be special prototype weapons that you can get your hands on. No doubt having some kind of special qualities, either for a large price or time investment. So Good Villain 101 on Reddit keenly spotted something Jackie says during the 48-minute gameplay demo. It's right after you pick up the Kang Tao Type 41 smart gun.
Who's the toughest bastards guarding this route? Probably some reason for that.
The toughest bastards guarding this route. Probably some reason for that.
So what does this mean? Well, after the 4-hour demo was played by content creators and journalists, we finally know. In this area, you can branch off and find the former Maelstrom gang leader, Brick, caged. Releasing him offers more choice and consequences in the mission, and ultimately you're standing with Militech and the Maelstrom gang. Remember, this mission is like a puzzle and there's 12 different paths you can take. But it's all the little details that make them powerful. It's Jackie that notices something is off instead of you just stumbling upon it. Will you release him, kill him, ignore him, miss him completely? This is the kind of choice and consequence that has me so incredibly excited for the game. We've seen previews of what brain dancing is, but now we know there are different types. I won't read out every bit of information on them, so feel free to pause if you want to get the full explanation. The most obvious real-world application of brain dancing would be a form of therapy. It can be used to confront fears, PTSD, and mental illnesses. Then you have the religious kind, where you can experience the ecstasy of faith or the suffering of Jesus during his crucifixion, Buddhists trying to recreate the state of nirvana, and so on. Then we have brain dances where you can experience clubs, events, DJs, concerts, and more. Then we have what brain dance would be used the most for, in our world, if it was real, sex. Sex in all forms, from mild to extreme. Then we have the penitentiary type, for convicts who qualify for rehabilitation, often letting them experience what their victims experience in an effort to create an aversion to violence. Finally, we have the brain dance type we saw revealed during the Night City Wire Live event. Black brain dancers. These are often criminal activities of the violent nature, sexual, or both. You'll experience the raw emotions and thoughts of the criminal. So these are the main types, but I'm sure if you use your imagination, you can find other applications of brain dancing. Finally, I'm going to talk gangs of Night City. There's a lot of information here, so once again, I'll briefly cover them at a top level and let you pause to get more information if you need it. Let's start with the Maelstrom gang, the one you'll encounter in the 48-minute demo and the 4-hour hands-on. They're classed as an extreme threat with gang size of 1,300 around the Watson district and northern Kabuki. Their gang consists of heavily augmented individuals skirting the line of cyber psychosis with cyber optical implants, limbs and combat mods and body plating. They're a violent, flesh is weak style gang and expect to encounter them a lot. Next is the Animals. We saw them in the hands-on gameplay preview after the Voodoo Boys enlist us to help them dispose of them. They have 2,500 to 3,000 members with no isolated turf as they function as bouncers and bodyguards all around Night City. They're listed as a high threat and they're all about being big, bulky and animalistic. Expect these guys to want to get in close and smash you into paste. They are led by the strongest in the pack and trials and disputes resolved in combat. They prefer vat-grown muscles and hormones to cybernetics and often pit themselves against heavily augmented individuals to test their skill. So I mentioned the Voodoo Boys. We've seen a few of them around Pacifica, but they're an elusive bunch. It's estimated their gang is between 50 and 250 members. They're a very low threat normally, but extreme inside of cyberspace. This fascination with cyberspace has put them at odds with the Netwatch organization. The Voodoo Boys are secretive and highly suspicious of outsiders. However, during the storyline, you may need to gain their trust. Next are the 6th Street Gang. They consist of roughly 2,300 members around Night City and are classified as a medium threat. They were founded by American patriots functioning as a civil police force, but now are basically an extortion racket dressed as military. They have highly talented techies and ties to nomad groups. Next is the Mox Gang, consisting of 200 to 250 members of mostly sex workers coming together for mostly survival. Protection from violent individuals. That being said, their threat level is low as they only really need to fight back to protect themselves if you break the rules. They do, however, have a tumultuous relationship with the Tiger Gang, who basically forced them to group up in the first place. It's an interesting read. The Tiger Claws consist of roughly 5,500 members, mostly around parts of Westbrook and Kabuki, and they're classified as medium to high threat. These are your Yakuza, Triad-style, mostly Asian gang members. They have a sense of honor and ideals, but their thugs mostly ignore this. This is one of the largest criminal groups in Night City, and they're quite organized. In combat, they use katanas, tantos, and guns. The Valentinos consist of roughly 6,000 members, mostly around Haywood, and are classed as medium to high threat. They are of mostly Mexican heritage, but any race and ethnic group are welcome if they adopt their culture. They are about community and family and are fiercely loyal. Members who die fighting other gangs, police or corpos are often remembered as saints and martyrs. That being said, they still commit crimes like murder, theft, trafficking and more. Now the next two we have very little information on. First is the Elder Caldos, which have an estimated 500 to 600 members in Night City and tens of thousands in total. They're your nomad-like biker gang with modified cars and bikes. Then finally we have the Race, with an estimated 300 to 1,200 members around the outskirts of Night City with a threat level of high. Not much is known about them, but they potentially have military-grade equipment. So thanks for watching guys. Does this information make you more or less excited to dive into the rich world of Cyberpunk? I'm counting down the days. Don't forget, I have a competition to win yourself a copy of Cyberpunk. Enter below. Be sure to do the clicky clicky if you like this video. I'll be back very soon with more.